Rights to freedom is dead. We're coming to get our check.
Black first, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to the Afro Elite YouTube channel. I am your host, Afro Elite. Before we get started, please make sure that you guys are subscribed by hitting that subscribe button and hitting the notification bell, hitting that thumbs up, and sharing this on your various social media platforms, because all of that helps the reach and the growth of the channel. And for everything that you all do, thank you very much. Now, what do they say? America is like race blind and nobody sees color anymore. And we need to stop thinking about race, because nobody else thinks about race. They just think about going to work, going to school, and raising their family, and having a nice house with a nice yard, and petting their dog when they come home. That's all anybody thinks about. Nobody's even thinking about race anymore. We're just stuck in the past, okay? That's what they tell us. But every so often, we have videos that verify the fact that, no, we're not stuck in the past. No, we're not obsessed with race. Everybody else is obsessed with our race, like the KKK. Speaking of the KKK, got a very interesting video that I'd like to tell you guys about. Copyright disclaimer: under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by a copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Tonight, Clifton residents are shaken up after recruitment flyers for Kentucky-based Ku Klux Klan groups popped up on several streets this morning. WCPO 9 News reporter Madeline Audley joins us live now. Madeline, you talked to a lady who picked a lot of these up.
Yeah, right. She found about 24 this morning. She spoke to us, but asked us not to show her face because she's terrified that the people behind this could retaliate. There have been reports that flyers from this same group popped up today in Columbus and in central Kentucky last month.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, this can't be real.
A Clifton resident shaken up after picking up these KKK recruitment flyers Sunday morning.
I just kept seeing more, and I just wanted to make sure that I could get as many as possible so no one else found them.
She grabbed about 24, primarily by cars on Bishop, Glenmary, and Lorraine.
Okay, I'm gonna leave my first comment right here. She herself, this one lady, grabbed 24. That means somebody spent like all day passing those flyers out. Those flyers been passed out like for the whole day. Whoever did that, and we can't just assume that she picked every single last one of them up. So whoever did that has been spreading this all around the neighborhood.
It really did freak me out.
The flyers promote white supremacy with a phone number to join a Kentucky-based KKK group.
I'm gonna have to pause it right here again. They left their number. You know how bold you have to be to leave your number on a flyer of a KKK flyer? Like, hey, just call me if you want to talk about, racism and white supremacy. Just give us a call. They put their number on there like they're opening a new restaurant and they're taking orders. Hey, if you want to apply, if you have any questions about what rank we are in the KKK and how to apply and what you need to be white. But yeah, just give us a call. Like, they literally, I mean, that's boldness. Well, really, stupidity is a more fitting word for it. But you haven't seen stupidity. Wait till you see this voicemail that they have on their machine.
We are a law-abiding, patriotic Christian organization serving white men, women, and children.
Okay, let's break this down. Now, it says we are law-abiding. That's the first thing they're saying. The KKK is anything but law-abiding. They're saying that so they don't pretty much advertise the fact that they're a criminal organization. Like, oh yeah, we're law-abiding. We're just here to talk about our whiteness. And no, they're, a criminal organization. Now, they might be law-abiding to the degree that they have police officers who are a part of the KKK, but we've already known that for many years, but they're not law-abiding at all. They're patriotic. This is something that we have to understand. When they say they're patriotic, they don't mean patriotic in the sense that other people might mean patriotic to their country. They mean they're patriotic to white supremacy, because they believe the core root of America is white supremacy, which is true because it is white supremacy. So they believe in a racial hierarchy. So when they say they're patriotic, they mean they're patriotic to a racial hierarchy. That's what that means. They're a Christian organization. So I guess that means that they burn crosses every day except Sundays. I guess that's what that means. Because I don't think in the Bible it permits you to be a racist bigot. I just don't think so. I don't think in the Bible it permits you to be a white supremacist terrorist. I don't think so. So I don't know what type of Christianity they believe, which is just white supremacy, which is its own religion that they disguise as Christianity. But I don't know if they would really stand up to be a Christian organization like that. Especially saying serving white men, women, and children. Where in the Bible does it say to support only one race of people? Doesn't the Bible promote loving everybody, loving your neighbor? Like, how you gonna cherry? You say you're a Christian organization only for white people. I mean, that's an oxymoron right there. See, the thing is that when these white supremacists, when they claim a specific religion, they listen. White supremacy is its own religion. They just disguise white supremacy and they have their own little flavor of white supremacy and they use other religions to kind of flavor it up. So they'll say, oh, it's about Christian and Jesus Christ and the Bible and all that stuff. Well, y'all do all this racism and the Bible speaks against doing like that. So what are you talking about? You're a Christian. But that's what they claim. They claim that, but they don't really believe that. They cherry pick parts in the Bible, just like they did during slavery. They cherry pick parts in the Bible that said, hey, well, the slave has to serve their master. They didn't cherry pick the parts in the Bible. They didn't mention the parts in the Bible that said, don't rape people, don't murder people, don't mistreat. They didn't, care to read those parts of the Bible. They just read the parts of the Bible that they wanted to read.
If I see somebody passing out hate literature in my neighborhood, there will be a physical fight.
Others tell us we should not feed the fire since it doesn't represent Clifton.
I'd like to know who they are. I don't understand people that still hold on to some version of this culture.
We're not showing you the flyers to avoid spreading hate.
I think it's important that we talk about this incident, but not share the actual propaganda, which is what they really want.
Just last month, the anti-Semitic flyers popped up in Hyde Park and Mount Healthy. Before that, similar ones were found in Northside.
I don't think the answer is to recoil and not be who you are.
But Councilman Jeffrey says fighting it is difficult, with hate speech generally protected.
Okay, let me pause it again. Because they say, oh, well, hate is hard to fight this. Hate speech is, they literally, these are a bunch of idiots who literally gave you their number and left a voicemail incriminating themselves. The KKK is a well-documented white supremacist terrorist organization. What do you mean? Oh, it's hard to fight this. You really cannot. The KKK was like gangs before there was gangs. There was not even a such thing as gangs like that before the KKK. That's like the original gang of America. If we're going to be honest, you can't get more incriminating than that. But the thing is, this is how America works, because they'll put rappers in prison off of rap lyrics. They said they'll throw whole RICO charges on rappers for literal lyrics that they said. But they don't do that with the KKK. The KKK, who was documented for hate crimes, documented for kidnapping, documented for sexual assault, documented for lynching, all of those things that the government admits to. The government admits that the KKK did all of those things, and you still have current members of the KKK with the same mantra, with the same ideology and beliefs that they had 100 years ago, and they're sitting up there acting like there's nothing that they can do. Oh man, it's just, there's nothing that we can do. Now, if this was a black gang, if this was the BDs or the GDs, if this was the Bloods or the Crips, if this was any black gang in any time period, they wouldn't be all like, there's just nothing we can do. They'd be all like, oh no, we got to be tough on crime. The second we see something, we got to do something. We got to lock them up. They'll be putting agents in the mix. They'll be setting up booby traps so they can catch them, because they do that with black gangs. Anytime there's a whole bunch of gang activity, you don't ever see them saying, oh, it's just nothing. Free speech. Free speech is nothing that we can do. They're trying to recruit a bunch of people, but that's free speech. There's nothing we can do. They would not dare be saying that if this was a black gang. All right. They'd be setting up traps and all that to get them locked up, the way they used to do when it comes to black civil rights movements. They set up traps to get black civil rights icons locked up and assassinated, but they don't know what to do when it comes to modern day KKK. Also, this gives you an indication on what they really think when they say the words free speech. Anytime they say the words free speech, that means just let me be openly racist against black people. To them, that's what free speech means. When you say free speech, you mean the freedom to really express yourself and expose agendas against your people and against humanity. What they say free speech is that I want to say the N-word with the hard ER, and I don't want to get in any trouble for it. I don't want anybody to even say anything about it, okay? I want to be openly racist against black people. That's what free speech and freedom is in their eyes. But they're saying that there's nothing that they can do about that. Mind you, too, there are places in America that makes it a crime. It's a crime for you to misgender somebody. So if somebody has their pronouns be she, her, and you call that person, that individual, a man, that would be considered a hate crime in some places in America. But when it comes to the KKK, everybody acts like this is some mystery that they have no idea how to get rid of. These people are literally putting their number on a flyer, and y'all like, well, it's more complicated than you think.
And I think it just reinforces that we need to educate not just our children, but everyone.
Educate everyone on what? What exactly would you be educating people on? See, this is the scapegoat because they don't want to punish those people. Because, like I said, if this was a black gang, anytime you see like recruitments of black gangs, you don't see, well, the reason we have to get rid of these black gangs by education. We have to educate the children. We have to educate the adults. You're giving everybody the dummy pass. Oh, they're KKK. They just don't know any better. You know what I'm saying? They don't know, being racist is bad. We got to educate them, on the fact that being no. You're going to punish them. That's what you need to do. All that education, they can get educated in jail. How about that? I like that idea. They can read a lot of books with all that free time they have behind bars because they'll have nothing else to do. I like that idea. Because when it comes to black people being a part of any type of gang, and there is not a single gang in the world that has more of a notorious history than the Ku Klux Klan. But when it comes to any black gang in the world, nobody talks about, well, the thing is, we just need more education. We need to educate the kids and everyone. Huh? What do you mean? How are you going to educate an adult to not be racist? You think it'd be like, oh, really? Black people really aren't that bad. I guess this racism thing is kind of dumb. Wow. Thanks for letting me know. Nobody says that. It's not about being educated. That's not what it's about. They're not a racist because they're uneducated. That's not why, okay? The core root of racism is not the lack of education.
Residents here say they won't stand for it.
Everyone cares about each other, and there's a lot of diversity, and it's a very loving place.
Jeffrey says that the flyers have been reported to police. He says the city will take action if they find out there are violations of property rights or if flyers were placed in mailboxes. Evan?
So essentially what they're saying is nobody's going to do anything. That's what they're saying. The Ku Klux Klan, the most notorious, well-documented terrorist gang who's been terrorizing black people racially for centuries, Okay, and then, they just been on about their way, and nobody's really did anything about it, and they're not going to do anything about it until they put it in their mailbox. So leaving it on cars and around property and hanging it up on walls, that's fine. Once you put it in the mailbox, okay, that's crossing the line. That's what they're saying. They could do something if they wanted to. Let's be honest. They can do something if they wanted to. They're choosing not to do anything about it. They're talking about it like, oh, I just don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. They know what they can do. They would do, if the roles were reversed and this was black people, if the roles were reversed, they would do something about it. We all know that. Okay. So they're acting like they don't know what to do, but this is typical America, KKK. You know what I'm saying? This is America. All right, so this is nothing new. So we shouldn't be surprised by this. But the thing is that we should take these stories as a warning that they're still very much like their ancestors. They still see us as black people the same way they saw us 100 years ago. Nothing has really changed. They make it seem like they've transformed, and after the civil rights movement, they just let go of racism, and they say, you know what, racism isn't really important to me anymore. I'm just going to let it go because it's technically not even legal. None of them have thought that way, and they don't think that way now. All right, so it's very important for us to be aware of stuff like this, because there are too many black people who go around being all like, oh, well, I mean, you don't see the KKK around anymore, do you? I mean, things are better than what they used to be. There are still black people who go around saying that things are better than what they used to be. How are they in the modern day? All right, 2023, you still have active KKK members looking for recruitments in 2023. So when people tell you things have gotten better, why are black people stuck in the past? Why don't you guys just pull yourselves up by your bootstraps and move along with your life like everybody else? Everybody had problems. Well, do everybody have problems that follow them and won't leave them alone for centuries? It's not the fact that black people can't get over anything. It's the fact that black people are still currently targets of racism and white supremacy. That's the problem. But I want to know what you all think in the comments section below. What do you think should be done about it? What would you do about it? Let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. Also, you should be following me on my various social media platforms, and the links to those are in the description below. But it's Afro Elite on Instagram and the Afro Elite on Twitter. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe before you go. I appreciate that. Now, with that being said, my brothers and sisters, be one salute to every single last one of you all, and you all have a good one.